Coffee is a part of students' daily life. Many students drink it to stay awake during class and while studying. At Silliman University, students often choose between instant coffee and brewed coffee. Their choice depends on how much time they have, the cost, and the taste. Instant coffee is quick and easy to make, while brewed coffee has a stronger taste and smell. It also contains more antioxidants and offers a fuller sensory experience according to the National Coffee Association of 2023. Instant and brewed coffee are two of the most commonly consumed types. Most people prefer instant coffee because it's simpler to prepare and you just add hot water to the coffee powder. Brewed coffee, however, requires hot water to extract flavor from roasted and ground coffee beans. Students drink to stay alert while studying for exams, attending classes, and doing homework. At Silliman University, students regularly decide between instant and brewed coffee. Their decision depends on flavor, cost, convenience, and of course, the caffeine boost. These factors shape their coffee habits. Understanding these options will help you see what students prefer and how coffee fits their busy lives. The researchers want to examine and compare daily coffee consumption patterns at Silliman University. Focusing on instant coffee and brewed coffee, the students aims to find out which type of coffee is most popular among students and the reasons behind their choices. By looking at these habits, the researchers seek to clarify the role of coffee consumption in university students' lives and how different types of coffee affect their daily routines. Related work. Coffee is a staple for university students. International Coffee Organization research shows rising consumption for social and functional energy. In the Philippines, studies at Cavite State University reveal over 75% of students drink coffee daily. These students use caffeine to improve alertness and mood during long study hours. Academic pressure increases the demand for caffeine. Research at Silliman University shows students' consumption rises during examination periods. Students report higher concentration and energy levels after drinking coffee. This habit helps students manage heavy workloads and late nights. These patterns justify the presence of coffee as a vital academic tool. Economic factors dictate the choice between instant and brewed varieties. Studies on Filipino student behavior identify price and convenience as primary drivers. Instant coffee offers low cost and fast preparation for busy schedules. Brewed coffee provides higher quality but requires a larger budget. A student allowance directly determines which type becomes a daily habit. Younger consumers show a growing preference for speed. Data indicates Gen Z students choose instant formats to save time. This choice matches a fast-paced campus lifestyle where efficiency is essential. Practical benefits like immediate access often outweigh sensory advantages for daily use. These factors decline the current coffee culture within the university.
Methodology. Design. This study employs a descriptive comparative research design. This framework allows for the description of current coffee habits among Silliman University students. It provides a structure to compare the daily routines of instant coffee drinkers against brewed coffee drinkers. The focus remains on identifying clear differences in consumption, frequency, and timing. Environment. The study takes place at Silliman University in Dumaguete City. Data collection targets students at the Silliman grounds. This location hosts a diverse mix of students from different academic departments. Respondents. The participant pool includes 45 enrolled undergraduate students. The researchers used purposive sampling to select these individuals from various colleges. This sample size allows for a focused analysis of specific year levels and academic loads. The criteria for participation requires a student to drink at least 1 cup of coffee per day. Data gathering tool. The study utilizes a structured survey instrument. The first part records the demographic profile and monthly allowance of the respondents. The second part requires students to identify their primary coffee type. The third part utilizes a 4-point Likert scale to evaluate priorities like cost and flavor. Collection methods. The researchers distribute the survey using a digital Google form. Distribution occurs through official student organization group chats and social media circles. QR codes placed in high traffic areas like the Arts and Sciences building provide additional access. This strategy makes the survey accessible to students during free time. Analysis procedure. All collected responses undergo organization into two main categories based on coffee preferences. The analysis compares the daily intake levels of instant coffee drinkers with brewed coffee drinkers. The procedure looks for the specific collections between students' allowance and coffee choices. Tables and charts illustrate these findings. Ethical considerations. The study follows the Data Privacy Act of 2012. A mandatory informed consent section appears at the beginning of the survey. Respondents' data remains anonymous as the survey avoids collecting names or ID numbers. All digital records face permanent deletion after the research receives official acceptance. Statistical treatment. Frequency and percentage summarizes the demographic data of the students. The weighted mean determines the most significant factors influencing coffee choices. An independent test compares the habits of two groups. This test identifies if the differences in consumption patterns are statistically significant.
The survey results indicate that a Silliman University student demonstrates a strong preference for instant coffee, primarily driven by convenience, affordability, and adaptability to their academic routines. A significant majority of respondents, 85%, agreed and strongly agreed that very fast preparation of instant coffee is essential, especially for early classes such as 7:30 a.m. schedule. Similarly, around 83 affirm that their daily routine requires beverage that can be prepared quickly, emphasizing the importance of time efficiency. In terms of economic factors, approximately 88 of respondents agreed that the usually cheaper price of instant coffee is a priority given their limited student allowance. This confirms that financial constraints heavily influence purchasing decisions. The long shelf life of instant coffee was also strongly supported, with about 81% of respondents agreeing that it's more practical for dormitory or boarding house storage. In contrast, 76% that agreed that shorter shelf life of brewed coffee discourage bulk purchasing. Regarding sensory qualities, only about 52% of respondents preferred the rich and aromatic qualities of brewed coffee, while a large portion, 68%, agreed that less complex flavors are more suitable during late-night study sessions. This suggests that the taste is secondary to function. For psychological effects, around 72% acknowledge that brewed coffee provides a strong caffeine boost. However, despite this, 79% still prioritize convenience over caffeine strength. In terms of physical comfort, approximately 7% agreed that lower acidity of instant coffee is gentler on the stomach, while 69% reported that the higher acidity of brewed coffee affects their preference. Overall, about 84% of respondents indicates that they often choose affordability and convenience over sensory quality. And 82% observed that most students prefer instant coffee for its efficiency. Inferential result. Although no formal statistical test was conducted, the distribution of responses suggests no significant variation across age group. Respondents aged 8 to 20, 70% of samples, 21 to 23, 25%, and 23 above 5% showed similar patterns in prioritizing convenience, affordability, and speed. Across all groups, over 80% consistently favored instant coffee, indicating that preference is not dependent on age, but rather influenced by shared academics, pressures, and lifestyle demands. Discussion. The findings strongly support the study's argument that Silliman University students prefer instant coffee to its practical in a fast-paced academic environment. The high percentage, 85%, emphasizing shapes, highlights how the time constraints shape daily decision. Students with early classes and heavy workloads rely on quick solution, making instant coffee the more viable option. Affordability emerged as the most influential factor, with 88% of respondents prioritizing cost. This reflects the financially limitation commonly experienced by students and explains the constant preference for instant coffee. While brewed coffee offers advantages such as stronger caffeine content, 72% acknowledgement, and better sensory qualities, 52% preference, these factors were outweighed by convenience and cost. The data clearly shows that the functional benefits are more important than experiential ones. Additionally, the preference for lower acidity, 74%, suggests that comfort and health consideration also contribute to the choice of instant coffee, particularly during stressful academic periods when consumption may increase. Overall, the results confirm that student coffee preferences are shaped primarily by efficiency, affordability, practicality, rather than taste or caffeine strength. This supports the study's claims that instant coffee better meets the everyday needs of Silliman students.